Folks, we're out here today in the brand new Yamaha FSH 190, and this is a very unique boat. I've been getting a lot of questions about it on Facebook, partly because it's a center console, which isn't very common out here on Lake Winnebago, but it's also a jet drive. And the jet drive system makes it so that you don't have to ever worry about hitting a prop or a lower unit on the bottom as you're going over the shallow waters of Lake Winnebago, and it's been a great fishing rig so far for me. So let's take a little bit closer look at the features of this boat. So to begin with, let's take a look at this extra large casting platform we've got up here. So normally this boat does have a nice cushion up here if you've got the family out, big wide cushion, multiple people can sit there. But since I really just use this boat for fishing, I like taking the cushion off. You can walk all around up here. You can have multiple people up here casting. And then obviously we've got a trolling motor on here right now. And there is a trolling motor mount plate on there, so you can put basically any trolling motor you want on it. Talk to your local dealers such as TWL Marine in Oshkosh. They're the ones who set that up for me. It's a Minn Kota Tarova trolling motor. It's the 112-pound thrust, and that propels this boat very easily. Even on speed 5, it feels a little fast. So 112 pounds is plenty. Now, looking up at the front of the boat, we've got an anchor holder right here. That's the anchor the boat comes with. Just an anchor locker if you feel like you need that, if you're not using a trolling motor especially. Then behind that, we've got ample amounts of storage. It's pretty full right now. We've got some soup for lunch there, and then a trolling motor pedal, and then I've got 6 life jackets in there as well. So it's really a huge storage spot. Then I'm behind there, moving on to a more enjoyable part, especially as we get near lunchtime here. We've got what they call a fish cooler, but I like to just use it for lunch. So I've got my, ham sandwich making materials there, but there is a nice drain there. So if you do fill this with fish and it's bloody, you can wash it all out. You won't have to worry about a nasty fish cooler. Moving back a little bit, here's a nice tackle storage spot. And this boat actually does come with, I think it's 3 or 4 tackle trays. These are some of my own tackle trays, but when you get the boat, it'll come with some tackle trays in case you need some extra room for your tackle. That's that. And then coming over to the other side, here's another storage spot. Got some lures to give away this season if people see me in the boat, and then got some ropes. But point is, this is a big storage slot. That's actually the soft cover for this center console. Now, possibly the most recognizable feature about this boat is the center console portion. So my favorite part so far, I should say my passenger's favorite part so far, is that when I'm driving over here, if somebody is sitting here up against this nice seat, they can hold onto this frame. And this is very stable. So if you're hitting waves, your passenger's never worried about tipping over or falling over in the boat. Looking further at the center console, we've got 2 cup holders up here, of course, for when you're like me, you can just throw some spare lures in there as you're cutting them off and figuring out what the fish want each day. That's always fun. Then we've got this nice screen here, which tells you things like water temp, speed, your depth, and your fuel gauge. So this is a nice screen, especially if you're just starting out with this boat and you don't have a Humminbird sonar unit like this one. TWL Marine in Oshkosh installed this unit for me flush to the dash. But if you don't have something like that, you can still rely on this screen right here for almost all of the information you'll need. Then we've got some other switches here, interior lights, exterior lights, your red and greens, your post light on the top. 2 extra switches for in case you want to rig up anything else. Got a nice compass here. And then this is another section of the dash that's fairly important. Other than the throttle, we'll get to that later. This right here is the bilge pump switch. It'll have an automatic bilge, so you don't need to worry about that too much. But then you've got the live well. This switch right here fills up the live well with water. And then the switch on the right, this is our aerator. And the aerator is actually running on auto right now because we have a lot of fish in the live well. So we'll take a look at those in a little bit. That's all I'll say for right now. Then moving on, one more feature I want to touch on the dash is the jet wash. So the jet wash feature, it's a nice hose sprayer that just hooks up to the boat right here in the back right corner. And this is a extendable hose. I mean, this thing will reach all around the boat if you need it to. So when you're someone like me who likes fishing for all sorts of slimy fish like sheephead and carp and catfish, the boat kind of gets dirty. So it's nice to be able to wash down the boat. It's just hooked up to the motor. When you start the boat, you can pick up the speed, pick up the water pressure of the pump, and you can spray down the boat, and you can have a nice fresh and clean boat. No more fish slime at the end of the day. Another thing too with the water washdown system that's important to know is that when you're washing the boat down, it's not like a traditional fishing boat where, oh, now the boat's full of water, now we got to pull it out of the water and drain it out. You can do it while you're on the water because we've got drain holes at the back of the boat. All you have to do is wash down the boat, and that water is going to rush right out of the boat. Nice and clean boat when you're all done. One last thing on the center console, we do have a nice lockbox here. Protect your valuables, keep your registration card in there. And then we do have a nice footrest down here, which is really nice as you're going along, whether you're a passenger or a driver. It's a nice comfy ride. And that's partly due to the seat cushion back here. This really is like fishing from a couch, which, they say you can't catch fish from a couch, but our live well disagrees. So here, you can drive the boat from this side. Obviously, that's great. But my favorite part so far is, let's say you're trolling behind the boat with your rods off the sides. Look at that. We're fishing. It's great. It's nice and comfy. It's, again, like I said, it's like a couch. I'd say you could comfortably fit 2 people on here. You could cast off the back, watch bobbers off the back, or have trolling rods off the sides. It's really a comfortable way to fish. So let's look at rod holders. Speaking of trolling, now bear with me here. There are a ton of rod holders in this boat. It's unreal. So let's just look at rod cup holders first. So these double as either a cup holder or a rod holder. 1 and 2, and then come up to the front quick. And 3 and 4, those can be either cup holders or rod holders. And then we've got some traditional rod holders. These 2 more right here, and then 2 more right here. And then we do have 2 traditional cup holders as well, not rod holders for those. But then we're just getting started here. There are a lot of rod holders on this boat. 4 more up here, then come on down. 3 more on each side of the console, and then 2 more on each side of the boat, protected under here. So if you want to keep your rods kind of out of the way, they're nice that way. The amount of rod storage on this boat is absolutely unreal. Like, I like to have plenty of rods with me, depending on the kind of fishing I'm doing. Just make sure I'm prepared for anything. You really cannot run out of rod storage space in this boat. So now let's take a look at the live well that we've been hyping up this whole time. So as you can see, we've got a nice mess of bluegills in there for dinner. And that aerator is set to auto right now, so it'll just pump every few seconds. But if I want, I can always turn on the manual aerator, and that'll pump some fresh air into there for them, keep them nice and happy. And then let's say that the live well isn't full enough for you. You can just hit the live well switch, and that'll fill the live well up for you. But I like to just run the aerator on auto. It seems to pump air in every few seconds, keep those fish nice and happy until you're ready to eat them, keeps them fresh. I do have a minnow scoop back there in that little trough too. Taking a look at the other side, opposite side of the live well, got our battery storage here, got our battery switches, and a little bit extra storage space, of course. That is one thing this boat does not lack, is storage space. Now, this boat does normally come under here with a cooler. I took the cooler out because I already have a fish cooler and the live well. It just feels unnecessary. But this boat does come with a cooler right here with a strap that holds it there if you need like a drink cooler or something. One more thing, there are snaps here. Normally there's a cushion on both seats here. It turns into a seat, and there's a little backrest here that pops out. So there's a lot of seating on this boat too. It's rated for up to 8 people. Now this is really why this boat is what it is. And it's called an FSH 190. FSH means Family Sport Hybrid. 190 stands for 19 foot. So the Family Sport Hybrid portion, that's because you can go fishing off of it, obviously. Nice casting platform on the back and on the front of the boat. But it's just a nice boat to be on with the family. You can relax back here in the summertime. The water is like 40 degrees right now, so no, I'm not going to put my feet in the water. But it's a really nice cushion back here. You could relax on the boat all day long. And we've got a tow hook here. So if you want to pull a tube or some water skis behind the boat, there's a nice tow hook here. You can have all kinds of fun with this boat. It's not just a fishing boat, but it really has been a great fishing vessel for me. Speaking of which, every fisherman knows the power of a 5-gallon bucket. And this boat comes with one. Not only that, but it comes with a hatch for the 5-gallon bucket. Look at that. Just drop that down in there. You can fill it up with fish. You can fill it up with equipment, whatever you want. One more thing back here. This hatch right here is for your drain clean out. So let's say you're running in the summer and you just hit a massive weed mat and all of a sudden the boat's bogging down. Just pop this out. Just reach down in there. When you open this up, this is a kill switch right here. When you open this up, this button right here is a kill switch that'll stop the motor. But you can reach down in there and grab any weeds if it really is clogged up badly. Generally, just run it like you would any other boat. Don't go running it through a giant weed bed and you shouldn't have any major issues. Now, if you thought we were done with this boat tour, one more thing you need to see. Right under this hatch, and yes, this comes on a 19-foot boat, believe it or not, we've got a changing room. So if you've got the family out in the summer, and let's say you started off the day fishing and then you want to go swimming in the afternoon, if you've got folks who want to change in here, you could easily fit a person in here. And it's a great storage compartment too. So if you look here at the front of the boat, all of this stuff was down inside the boat there, and we were only maybe a quarter of the way full. So it's a great storage hatch. It's also a good changing room. Use it for whatever you feel like. And then our batteries for the trolling motor are also stored up under the hull here. So there's plenty of room there for batteries. It's just amazing how much space this boat has. You can never really run out of storage space. Look at that. There's one of your seats. So again, plenty of seating space on this boat. Like I said, it's rated for 8 people. You can easily seat 8 on here. I would say fishing wise, you'd probably be more comfortable with like 4, maybe 5 people. But it's really a great fishing boat overall. And if you do have a family, you can take them out in the summer with it and have a great time tubing, water skiing, or just hanging out on the swim platform on the back. Now we do have a storm moving in behind us, but one last thing I want to show you is that this is a jet drive boat. So instead of having to worry about a lower unit and a prop hanging down as you're going over the shallow rocks of Winnebago, now you just have a jet drive that is actually flush with the hull. So you have nothing hanging down under the hull. This boat, supposedly it's able to run in 18 inches of water at a slow speed. Now, if you are running the boat at a higher speed and you're up on plane, your boat's going to be up higher, so you probably need even less water than that. Again, this is a Yamaha FSH 190. It's a 19-foot boat. It is fiberglass, so that's one thing that's a little bit different for me. My past boat was a 12-foot aluminum boat, as you've seen by my Facebook posts, and that really did not handle well in the waves, to say the least. So this fiberglass hull handles a lot better. A lot of times, if you're just in, decent sized rollers, 2-3 footers, you really don't, I would say, notice them that badly. The fiberglass hull does a nice job just breaking through them and going over them. Now, as you just saw, this is a very fun boat to take out on the water. I got a little bit of driving in before the storm moved in, and it flies. It goes about 40 miles an hour with the 200 horsepower high output Yamaha engine. And let's take a look at this jet propulsion system I was talking about earlier. So the nice thing about these boats is that with a normal fishing boat, you'll have a prop and a lower unit hanging way down below the boat. And if you're running along shallow rocks or anything like that, you could definitely take off the lower unit if you hit it. So with this, there's only a little bit added onto the bottom, but for the most part, this motor is almost completely flush with the hull of the boat. So you're not really worried about hitting anything off the bottom. You obviously want to be careful in shallow water regardless, but you're not worried at all about hitting the motor off the bottom like you would with a traditional outboard motor. As you saw, there's a lot of great features to this boat that make it great for not only fishing, but taking the family out too for a weekend. So if you want to check out one of these boats for yourself in person and get a little bit deeper look at it, head over to TWL Marine at 5823 Green Valley Road in Oshkosh. See you there.